guys, without the cleansing.
I'm gonna bring us live.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I I wasn't sure if we were getting into role play, and then I was like,
All
oh
right,
shit,
I was
maybe I
telling you
should.
stories about buddies drowning. We
Yeah.
got
Like,
a
wait a
I mean,
second.
drowning.
it was role play, but
It was good
But,
role
like,
play.
Yeah,
catch
Patreon.
up.
yeah.
We're flashbacking.
Yeah, it's catch
There
up
we
role
go.
play.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, we're a little behind. We had to do
We're
some
Todrick,
catch up,
you there?
some
Lord
housekeeping.
Todrick, Duke
Oh, I'm here.
of Wellington.
Duke Wellington.
Wellington.
Duke of Wellington. I believe he's a prince somewhere. All right, we are back when Black Roses Blue. And we have a full house tonight. Welcome back, Kieran, part of the group. We also have a return of a familiar face. I believe his name was Jeff, and Ren has returned. It's gonna be an epic adventure tonight, guys. I'm gonna be throwing things at you. There's gonna be timers. There's gonna be traps. There's gonna be spells. There might be monsters,
Oh shit!
or maybe none of that. We'll see.
I actually I can't make tonight's
I have
session.
to- I
Sorry
gotta
guys,
quit
I gotta cancel now.
So when we left, though, I'm gonna keep it quick because we did talk about this. You guys had completed the cleansing. You are now acolytes of soul. So you realized now you have no need for your earthly possessions, and they have taken them using your sly abilities, but also, and I do remember your chats, but this sort of I'm short. Remembering that trying to send your familiars off, you realized you couldn't send them off invisible because something was blocking them from turning invisible. Since the moment you walked into the pyramid, what's his name, Memnock became visible, and since then has not been able to go invisible. So you sent them out; they were able to find it. One thing I will say, since Rin wasn't here, Rin, since walking in, you noticed a lot of things. I would say you would know. You would know you would have saw a couple secret passages, a couple of them, and you would get the feeling that this place is super complicated and multiple hidden, like, you were walking by and noticed multiple as you were just being led secretively. Couldn't imagine what you'd find if you actually went looking for stuff. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. You have noticed that.
I think we did start to, or I had said that I wanted to work with Ren to start mapping out from where we were with the familiars. So I'd be telling you that too. So we're starting to develop a map.
We're relatively possessionless, but is there something? Is there a candle around? Is there
Sure, you
something?
guys have access to like bowls, cups, basic clothing and robes, candle, a torch, different things like that.
Okay. I think the torch will work because even if we light a torch for a few seconds, we can get that pitch runny enough that we can start to use that like charcoal. If we could find a surface that's portable, it doesn't
There's
sound
beds
like
in
we
here,
have-
right?
Do we have any paper or
Yeah, there's
parchment?
beds in there.
I'll pull one of the sheets off the bed.
All right. And then, so you and I can work.
So you can pull a sheet out and then draw on it to mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, we're going to mark essentially paths we've seen and been to, and I'll do my best to handle topography with staircase symbols and things like that. We'll get a sense of how we entered, where we went, and how we got here at least. That's
Yeah, you
not
remember
terribly
that.
comprehensive, but
Yeah,
it's a start.
you remember that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I haven't
Um,
landed on whether or not you have perfect recollection of direction, because that's an interesting concept. So, but
Yeah.
for now, I'm kind of saying you do. Like
And-
that your
and-
mind map out anywhere you've ever been. I think you would remember that with keen mind, but whether or not you could literally like walk into a room, walk through it, now for a month you can map out this whole place. I don't know.
Yeah. And so what I'm thinking is, and even despite my,
But what I'm saying is, for now, I'm landing on you can basically kind of do that. Right.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank
So
you.
just
And-
you know, if it gets crazy, then I will talk about it. But for the most part,
Sure.
I think even your secretive paths that you remember, you have an idea of where they're at. This is like a
I'll
base area. A lot of
try to
people
make
are coming
little-
through. You see other acolytes, see higher priests. Every now and then, you see a group of 2, 3, or 4 of those jackal-headed, warriors walk together, walk past. So this is a very active area.
All right, I
that
just
you're in.
want to point out that I'm really mapping it out so that I can more easily explain this to my teammates,
Yeah.
and give them sort of a sense of that spatial relationship. I'm also going to highlight like little dash marks for where I think there might have been secret passages or something. And that's that. I'll turn it over to you, Usk. Usk.
So all I was going to say is I'd be helping doing that. While I don't have them with me, I do have some proficiency in cartography,
Photography. Yeah.
cartography
Photographers.
tools,
Yeah.
and with my
Uh,
background of being an archaeologist,
Yeah.
Let
Oh,
you
sure, I
absolutely.
have a way
You
to
also
help.
know that the place that you're looking for, where your stuff's being held, is certainly looks like a place that is not going to be a permanent place for them. That is literally like a guarded
Yeah, it's like
room, and it's next to this like big bronze door. It's a room off. There's a large open area, big bronze door. This is what your imp, I think, we found them, and then there's a off to the side is a room, like an opening, and no door, and there's these 2 jackal-headed soldiers, and in there it's some stuff. Looks like
Yeah,
a
it's
eclectic
like
group of stuff.
the storage place before they actually put everything in the vault.
Import it and do their thing.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
You said there's a room next to the vault. Yeah?
Yep.
I do have the ability to mold earth. Maybe if we get to the room next to it, I could make us a tunnel.
Does it work on
Into
like,
revolt.
worked stone?
I like where this is going. My only concern is, are these walls stone? And
Or
how does
if they are they like worked stone? Which
Yeah,
I think
they are stone. They're limestone and they're work stone.
Well, we
They're
also
white
don't know
limestone.
how much of our magic works in here yet. Remember?
Yeah, we've got. I'm already. I got a real bad feeling about trying invisibility on someone, but until
It's
we
not
do, we're
gonna
not gonna know.
Hey, speaking of that, you smarter folk, I have my
Yeah.
weapons bonded with me. I wonder if I would be able to recall them.
Interesting. Would it need a path to find you,
No.
or is it somewhat
It's
just
just-
like it appears in your hand?
It's a blessing from our boss, and I'll look over to Alana.
Wait,
Yeah, yeah.
boss now?
You
He's
don't
the
remember
boss's
the
favorite.
conversation, do you? Pat?
All right, look, all I'm asking is you keep me in the loop, okay?
You were in the loop.
You were
sleeping.
Well, I
there.
Well, you were a little sad, but anyways,
It was a long day.
it was a long day.
it was.
I'd like to just try to make a mark on the wall with prestidigitation, just a like smudge mark with my finger to see if it works.
Smudge mark?
Yeah,
On
like a I don't want it to be like a green, just like a green
yeah.
color. Green
Is
smudge.
the stuff you do with prestidigitation, is that like permanent? Like when it makes something dirty or cleans it, is that like,
It'll last for an hour.
so it's not for permanent? It smudges.
Okay. Well, guys, that works. Magic isn't totally out.
Oh, that's interesting. I try to use Mage Hand.
To do what?
Move one of the pillows on the bed.
Oh yeah. The mage hand comes out, picks it up.
Oh, that works. Oh yeah, by the way, I can do that.
Shit, yeah, it's creepy.
Interesting.
It-
It is like one of my black floating hands, as if it was like the transformed hand
yeah.
of mine, but it's this creepy, like long fingered.
Like twice the size of a normal mage hand. You know, like,
I'm
So why wouldn't someone be able to see your imp, Bones? What could do that? What kind of environment, like or spell, could make someone be able to see your imp?
Would I know? Would I have any idea? If I can, I
Do you
like
have
try.
do you have Arcana? Are you proficient rather in Arcana?
I am because of the ring that I still have
Oh,
because
there
I
you
didn't take
go.
it off.
Yeah, yeah. If you are,
So yeah, I'll roll. Let me double check that I don't have like advantage or something.
I'm processing.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do lingering insight. I'll spend 10 minutes in a quiet meditation, and I'll get advantage on the Arcana check.
okay. Yeah. Yeah,
So
you
I'll
can,
connect with the ghostly presence of Lucas.
yeah, actually,
Um,
he kind of you guys you see he's meditating during that time. There's this mist forms around you, and you guys
I like
in
I
this
imagine I
meditating.
have like a discussion with him about the
Exactly,
circumstance we're in.
exactly, and he would give
Um,
you his advice during that 10 minutes. Yeah,
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 advantage is a
badass.
17 plus 4 for 21.
So you definitely, you speak with him. He tells you even after the 10 minutes, Bones comes out and says, there are, absolutely magics that can ward and glyph certain areas from certain spells and certain magics. Um, Most of those that are permanent, even your layman's tiny hut is an example of such a thing in a way. But to do it in this scale is quite powerful, and if it's permanent or inherent into the pyramid itself, and which isn't unheard of either. Lastly, the things that he tells you would be that there's a few things that could, so this is not guaranteed, that could be affected, that are commonly affected. Being able to be invisible or hide in those ways. Scrying and divination can sometimes be blocked or manipulated, or, you know, he would tell you teleportation, especially in and out, but sometimes even within, depending on, again, the power of it, are possible. Even stuff as far as detection, knowing where you're at, what you're doing, to
Yeah,
certain levels. None of those are guaranteed, of course. He doesn't know the
right.
specific thing, but those are all examples with a 21.
Okay.
You guys sit and enjoy a smoke.
Yeah,
As you're not really, it's more of a mental projection, but
yeah.
he liked to drink and like, so in this little room, there's two chairs, two cigars and a glass of one of your
I'm gonna
favorite.
do this all the time now.
He
Have like a little mini dimension where I
seems
can
very, very excited to have someone.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So, yeah, that's what you tell with your Arcana checkup.
yeah.
So
So
you said it's all like stone and stuff on the walls, and
Hmm?
so would mold earth affect that in any way?
If it says worked or anything like that, I haven't looked at Mold
it,
Earth in a long time.
it just double checked it. It doesn't say anything about stone. It just says stone. There's
It
no
says dirt
mention of
and
work
stone.
stone.
Yeah, if it says dirt and stone, then it should work on this. Yeah. Have you tried it?
Yeah, I'll just go up to a wall and I won't do anything drastic. I'll just try and like poke my hole, poke my finger into it and kind of look have mold earth drill. It's a straight hole.
Yep, gotcha. Yeah, as your finger hits it, it just bends on it. Your magic doesn't touch it.
I'll quickly cover it up once I know it's effective.
It's not effective. I'm saying your finger bends like it's hard when you touch
Oh,
it. You're used to the magic allowing you kind of push. Yeah, your magic
mm,
doesn't seem to affect it.
no, that's out of the question.
Hey,
So
Vinny,
some sort
welcome
of
to Damien's campaign.
Welcome to the Ivory Tomb.
This is
yeah.
why
You
this
guys
is
walk
why
in
I'm
there
asking
willy-nilly.
questions.
I love it.
I just want to cast a minor illusion really quick to make a I don't know, make my shoes look different. Fancy
Yeah.
shoes for fun.
He's got these fancy shoes. They look like fancy shoes. I mean, its illusion's interesting. Like if they know you cast it, inherently they don't see it, or they can choose not to see it, right? Like knowing it about it. Yeah, if it works. You know the spell is working. Yeah. Usk might not know you can do that, so
Yeah. He's like, wow, where'd you get those shoes? Okay, so some sort of non-detection plus other wards.
Should I try calling one of my weapons? I'm afraid that if anybody's in the room where it's being held, they might notice. But who knows?
Yeah, how close are we
Look,
to the room?
hold on. I'll double check.
You're not too far. It's so you guys, there's that main area generally, and he's got a better idea, but there's that main like open area where wagons and stuff. This is when you first came to this massive base of it. And then you guys, there's many openings and like, areas and people doing things. You guys were led off to the side, right? As you went into one of the doorways. And as you moved through, you didn't really go up or down. You just kind of went down a few hallways, past a few rooms, um, before you got to that door, kind of bronze, similar to the other door you saw at uh, your met or your sorry, your imp saw, the bronze doors. So you're not, and then you were led past that to your rooms. You know that if you go back, basically past the cleansing room, it's pretty close to that. Like it's right off of that actually. And from your understanding, there's nothing right now. They had to go through that room to get there. And last time you were there, they had the 6 guards were around, remember? But nobody's in the cleansing room.
Are we essentially on the first floor, or did we enter at some other height?
Yeah, first floor. Yes, you were like walking along the ground
Okay,
when you
okay.
came in. Yeah,
Nice.
and yeah, it's like an opening because this thing you weren't here, but it's basically like 175% the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza. We found out, so it's bigger than it's not twice the size, but almost twice. It's huge.
We
And
also didn't mention there's an entire army
a
around
massive army.
This
So
looks
you
like
saw
a
some
whole
wyverns flying
military
up and
complex
worms.
here. Yeah.
And there's specific
Multiple purple-
The
warriors.
militaristic theocracy.
And,
Yeah,
and,
like-
and there are jackal masked
Headed.
elite
Yeah.
warrior, or
These are
jackal
like-
headed
yeah.
elite
Guards.
guards.
9
Like
foot
they're
tall, big Fs.
Ren,
Yeah.
I'm pretty tall.
hey Ren, if we walked up and talked to one of those guards, would you be able to like tell us strengths and weaknesses like about them, like fighting if it came to a fight? Not that I would want to pick a fight, but like
No, I think I still could. I mean, additionally, I can read lips, and I can definitely pick up if they're lying. But I don't have any way to tell the person interacting with them, except for my right-left positive negative that I've been trying to show you guys. So
We used that the other day when you weren't here.
right hand stuff is good, left hand stuff is negative. But it could be anything, any quirk of me adjusting my clothes, any, picking my ear, whatever, just focus on my hand. That's the best I can get, I think.
We also don't know how humanoid these creatures are, if they speak or if they even do
True.
lie or if they could lie. We don't know.
I can really I can really only gain intent if it is language I understand. I can get a bit of an insight without language, but it's very focused for me, and I don't think it affects you guys in any mechanical way.
so. Besides us getting our stuff back right now, what's the goal of the pyramid again? Is to press on? Are we looking for this high priest? Are we going straight to Sinmet, or what? What are we
Nobody's
doing?
seen Sinmet for hundreds of years.
So we got to get maybe information from the high priest.
I think that's
I
a goal, but I don't
think
know
that
if we
is.
want to see him without our gear. And he just saw us, though.
Wait, was that him or was it
Is
someone else?
I think that was him.
is he gonna see us if we have our gear? I mean, I would
Yeah,
imagine if
well,
we manage to get our gear back, we are going to be different.
I also feel like, and this is total bullshit theory, but it's very possible that once we even get close to our gear, someone's gonna know. Um,
But I mean, we can't leave it at that. So even if it's at the
I'll be honest.
sacrifice of us,
I'm nothing without my ancillaries. I don't know how some of you feel, but I'm basically naked right now. I got nothing but my brains, and my big brains need tools, sharp ones.
What do you guys think?
No.
Yeah,
It
the
seems.
sort of.
Brian,
but-
It seems to me either way we go, it's either way we go. It seems going to be. If I could actually get my words out, sorry, instead of repeating myself. Seems to me either way we go, it's going to lead us to either being discovered with our stuff and shit goes sideways, perhaps, or we continue our merry way without our stuff and we'll have to continue without our stuff. But
Shit still could go
from
side.
from what I've gathered from everyone, you'd much rather have your stuff.
Quick glance around this room. Any signs of other camouflaged egress?
In the room you're in, no.
Okay. We have some other options because I do feel strongly that there are some secret passages. We'd have to obviously be careful of where they pop out. You know, who knows, but we could add additional knowledge to some of the structure of this place. Even let's say, okay, right now, let's go get our stuff. What next? And I think we may have to make that decision incredibly quickly based on whether or not we're immediately found out.
is there any way to hide that we have all of our things? I mean, probably not. Bungle, your sword is.
Yeah, I mean, if we only have robes on,
Yeah, we all
then-
got robes, right? Like we're out of our and we're all in similar robes. So
Yep.
it would probably be pretty easy for us to move about.
At least in this area, yeah, where you've been, yeah. You're part of the new, converts.
Speaking of that,
What-
do I feel any different?
You sure look like you felt better after your
Yeah,
whole experience, but I mean,
but I still
What
have
does
my
that mean?
wits. It's not like possession or anything like that, right?
yeah, no,
Okay,
no.
that's good. Kind of. I almost wish someone would take control.
Yeah, somebody, please. Where's Mama?
Uh, so, I mean, at least keep this in your mind, in the back of your mind. Hopefully, if we get into the point where we need weapons, I can get two. All right.
Good. I think
Both of us are. You making fun of it? Yeah, that's
that's.
about the It's a comfortable way. Your arms lock themselves in.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yes, he
Um,
knows.
Yeah, dude, this is my jam right here.
maybe you're right, Gideon. Maybe we walk around a bit more. The only thing I'm concerned about is it seems like our things are in a temporary location, and if they get moved to their permanent resting place, they'll just be impossible to get.
Well, then let's walk that way, but not be planning for something that we don't know the possibilities of. Let's get eyes on the situation. Let's let the smart people be smart about it. And you let me know when it's time to fuck someone up.
Well, before we go too far, I do want to just mention the obvious. If our equipment and gear and whatnot is in a temporary holding cell, it implies that it will end up in some permanent hold of sorts. And that to me smells like a fucking treasure chest.
Well,
And I mean like a room full of fucking cool shit.
unless they
Giant
sell it
bronze
right
vault
off.
bar.
They
Or
sell
give
it?
it to their army.
Yeah, you know these.
Fuck, dude.
I
I
don't know
got
if
the
you've been in
javelin
many
in there.
religious places. They like to sell things off so they get more money for the things that they do.
I don't pay attention to any of that.
Another thing
shit,
is,
alright? Sorry.
these
But that
places are
sucks.
old, and I imagine so. They just, why not keep it? Why not keep our things and use them?
What's everyone's passive insight?
10.
21.
14.
21 will do it. You know that like the moment somebody who actually knows sees like that orb or any of it's like, yeah, of course that thing will be taken straight to the fucking Kefri probably, right? Like there are things you guys have that will be,
Yeah.
you know,
So let's
there
get
Immediate.
are, yeah,
Just
that will be immediately
possession.
used to change the course of things. like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
well, you have powerful
Calling
items that
all
they're gonna absolutely.
all
Yeah.
evil dragons. I don't know how
Yeah, I mean a
applicable
lot
that
of
is
things
here,
that it
but
can do. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So
and
I
they're
think
just
I
I
think
think getting our stuff back has to be priority number one, and whatever happens after that happens. We have an escape plan for a reason, but I think if we don't get our stuff, the ultimate goal of getting Sinmed is just, I mean,
yeah, we can't
Good
do it
luck.
without it. That's
Yeah.
true. That's
you
go
guys doing?
scout.
All right.
I mean, I
Alright.
agree. We gotta
yeah,
make a
So-
call.
go. Let's go.
But at
Yeah.
some
Alana,
know,
what are you saying?
So, what I wanted to do, boys, is I think Bones, you said that your familiar saw that it was two guards in front of the door. Was that right?
Yes.
I wanted to approach them by myself. Maybe you guys were away in the wing a little bit. And ask them where the lavatory was, and play off being a little naive, and then maybe cast command on the two of them to open the door. A little something.
Hmm. I don't dislike it. My only problem is they'll be very aware.
Well,
We
if it goes
need
sideways a
magic
little bit,
used.
Gideon will be there to knock him in the face.
We need more intel before
I
we
don't
do
know if a fight
anything.
is a good idea. We won't have our things in that fight.
We need
sword.
more intel before we go pushing on here.
I mean, I could just kick them in the nuts. I mean, that works pretty good. And I go, you boys don't think about that.
I don't think we should underestimate these things.
Not at all. Look
I-
at the
I
size
also
of them.
think- I also think, guys, we
figure.
got to have our ducks in a row when we get our hands on this gear. We may not have time to talk it out like this.
Bungo
I
is
think-
right at dick level of these guys, so he's going for it from the groin. There's another route. Maybe another way to get in, Bungo.
The other,
I strength's 20 now. You better watch out for the upper nut.
The upper nut.
the
Strong as me.
So you guys are going to go check out your. You're going scouting. Is that what you're doing?
I think let's do this. Everyone act completely casual. As Gideon pointed out, we all look just like new followers because that's what we are. So let's just go walk. We'll walk by.
Everybody be real cool.
we
Yeah.
can
No,
have
Everyone's like,
conversations as things
mm,
come up. All right. If you notice things,
because what I'm saying is, when we get, if and when we get our hands on our tools again, we're choosing to give up this disguise that we have, unless everyone could grab a little tiny something you might be able to conceal within your robes. And I realize that's not ideal either, because we don't want to lose the rest of our stuff. So, but I do want
You would
to lay
also
that
know
out.
that anything that you have access to is you care about. Like anything that anybody wearing this robe can get into. Sure, there is a benefit. I'm not saying there's not a benefit. There is. If you had it, like getting to your stuff or getting like if you're like I want to go check out this, you can certainly move around somewhat. But you also know, generally speaking, like anything you have access to, you know, these what you're wearing isn't going to get you to. I don't even. Apparently, you guys don't have like. At one point, it sounded like your plan was to get your gear, and get out, and it's like okay, so you went in just to lose your gear.
Yeah.
And just
Uh,
leave. No.
yeah,
no.
which is fine. It's your call. But so if your goal is to, well, I don't even want to put a goal in your like. I don't know what your goal is now. I thought I did. What's your guys' goal?
There's people in robes and there's warriors, right? Are
Yeah, and
any,
there's people in different like versions of robes. Like you see, like high, you can clearly tell there's some hierarchy of like priests and stuff, right? Like um, any kind of religion, yeah.
okay.
And then there's warriors. There's some priestly warriors, some that have like a breastplate over there, and then there's others that are more militaristic that are coming in and out. At some point, if you guys are just hanging out for a little, at some point there's like military movement going through there and new recruits. You see some looks like fresh soldiers are added to the, looks like they've been fairly freshly recruited. You can tell they're fresh faced, but they're, yeah. And
How
so,
common are hoods in this?
uh,
Uh,
yeah, not uncommon. You could wear a hood and it wouldn't right away make you suspicious. Yep.
So, I think what we lack, gentlemen and lady, is information. And in this situation, the six of us would be hard pressed to kill everyone here and fight our way to what. So we need to find out where and when we can find Sinmit. So in order to do that, we need to collect information for any power or allies that we can. So maybe we're not fighting, maybe we're sneaking and we're listening and we're talking to people and trying to collect information that'll help guide our next step. That's what I would put forward.
yeah, I really like that one. I think we can do some more subtle mapping, finding even pushing the limits of where acolytes like us are allowed to be. I'll scope out more passages, and when the time's right, we could try to explore those a bit, or even let Memnock explore those. We would have to figure out how to open them for them, but look,
If we
I
get
should be able to figure it out. Um,
and we can get our gear and we just put it in the bag of holding. I mean, the only problem with that would be armoring up before a fight. We might stumble into a fight without armor on.
It's true.
Well,
Isn't the bag? The
You
bag's
also,
almost full. I don't know how much. We can't fit much in the bag because we have so much gold.
yeah, I think he has a lot of gold in there. But you can always dump, I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
dump gold.
I mean, obviously we dumped the gold.
why
We
is that
extra
obvious?
bag of holding in the storeroom.
What?
There's always
What?
more.
Do we? Can we figure out the intelligence of these guards, per chance? Because what if they're kind of stupid, and we walk up with a smile on our face and tell them that the grand what's his face told us in humility of our new positions we must bring our old things to the vault and blah 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 as a way of letting go of our past lives.
I don't hate this
Or
idea.
blah, blah,
I don't
blah.
hate this
It's
idea.
worth a shot. I feel
Or
like
at
we
least
got a
something
couple
like this.
smiley folks.
We know the high priest's name. We could use that.
I mean, it's an idea. I just thought of it. It sounded pretty good.
Alana, can you go into your
Oh yeah.
form?
I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, fine. I think I'll
If you came
transform
in,
my hands just to try it.
What are you doing?
Going dread forming my hands to make sure that I can change.
Yeah, it appears that you would be able to transform if you wanted.
It's really creepy, by the way.
You're black.
I
Start to ripple up her arm as her fingers elongate and sharpen, and hand becomes this.
is there? I
horrifying
wonder
blade.
if there's a way we could dress you in some of their armor, and then you could go in as that form where you're equals to them, and then do something like that. Lord Kefri demands your presence here, so
I
and so.
mean, it's a bit of a different nature of
It is.
creature than
It
what they
is.
are.
Have
Is,
we
but
seen anything like Alana ever? like,
In a nightmare.
yeah, I don't. I think. Listen, this is
Folk
what I
tales.
think. I think we should plan on these jackal-headed warriors to be maybe not as intuitive as us, but they probably are fucking intelligent, experienced fighters.
great. I agree. Well then,
Anybody
okay,
in
if this is the plan,
anybody in that, they'd be a fool to have someone, you know, nah. And if they aren't, then we picked the right fool to fuck with.
well, which of us is the most persuasive then?
Without a
Not
bungo.
me. Yeah, I'm thinking Bungo, Bones, or Alana. Can I tell? DM, can I tell which of them has the most riz? Can I?
You guys play together. I don't give you that information. Who do you think is more persuasive?
Bungo.
I don't know
think,
what
but that might
charisma
be
modifier Bungo has, but mine's not bad.
It's also not bad.
because I know you other two are high rizzies. I don't know. I feel like Bungo, but look. I'll let you guys decide that. Do you want me to shadow behind your shoulder to
Gain some
play?
insights. Anything we
Yeah.
can do on a walk to gain insights to help us will help us get home.
So
I hope.
you guys are walking and kind of just walking the area that you're kind of allowed to walk to just get a feel for
Guards,
what's going on. Yep,
patrols,
yep.
it just
So
just
yep, the area that
Also,
you realize it's fairly limited.
also
There's a
looking for.
couple.
Sorry.
Yep,
No, I was just saying also looking for places that look very restricted, on
yes,
top of the places we're allowed to go.
yep. So what you notice after spending some time doing this is a lot of the secret passages you saw do lead to other rooms in this area. Um, they haven't been used in a long time. However, you do find one area. It's behind a statue that looks like you're not sure where it goes. It gets dark and it's worked, but it's kind of less finished, um, and it possibly would go down. You get the feeling, and then you also think that bronze door where that your stuff is kind of lead. You see a lot of not a lot of things going on, but every now and then you notice some high priests go in, almost always escorted by some of those jackal-headed guards. Not always some of the higher priests, but those are usually escorted or have a group of people around them that they're with. Other priests and things like that. Sometimes some military figures may enter as well, that be escorted in.
To the room where our stuff is.
Well, no, yeah, we'll pass that.
No, past
It's
it.
not
Okay.
super frequent. Like you guys, spend a couple
Yeah.
hours. I'd say if you're spending this, if you're going through the whole place to look, I'm not saying you're going behind every corner, but you're
Oh,
walking
right,
around the
right.
whole basic area. Probably 5 or 6 hours, maybe, to do that. At least, yeah, I would say that's fair. We'll say 4 hours, even though I still think it took longer.
do we see
So 4 hours.
anybody go into the room that we know our stuff is in?
We say I have. I keep
Well, when you
memorizing.
were there, because you were no, not no, but you necessarily weren't watching the whole time either. But the times you did kind of walk by that and look in and stuff, I'm assuming you. I don't know how you ever walked in. You never said you did, so I'm assuming you're just getting a plan that's
Yeah.
So you kind of looked in, got a feel for it. You saw it goes down into this grand open air, like opening area before it narrows, and then there's that off and the bronze door. The traffic further, like the closer you get to this area, the traffic kind of dwindles a little bit, like foot traffic. When you get past the cleansing place, it's quite busy all the time. Yep. Kieran? Who's
So while we're making our way around these various halls and rooms and such, using my background, I was wondering if I could determine who originally built this place, because that's one of the things my background lets me do. When you enter a room or dungeon, you can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders, in addition to any monetary value of arts older than a century old, but I'll be
so
passing.
you have no idea who built it. There's just no way you can, right? Like so, but you would definitely get a feeling that this is already the most complicated and multifaceted pyramid you've ever heard of. They're usually built for like a tomb. They're definitely not used as like a military base, and they're not built to this ease of access. Usually they're, you know, once they're sealed, they're kind of meant to be sealed. But this has this whole. So to you, it's more of a military slash, like I said, a militaristic theocracy kind of feel. Like this is meant to house soldiers and warriors as well, though. So, which is unusual for sure. The builders, I will say this, you've never seen work like this either. Like it's perfect. It is as perfect as it can be. It's not perfect, but it is the cleanest lines you've ever seen. Beyond anything like you've ever heard of any peoples being able to do.
And does he share this with any of us?
Probably not. I'm just mumbling to myself, looking at the walls.
He's just researching
as we're
right
walking.
now.
Pretty much.
Awkwardly seeing him just staring at the wall.
What's your passive perception?
It's a 10.
Yep, you didn't catch it. He mumbled it, but you couldn't hear it. Yeah, so that's what you guys see. And you have an idea. You have it mapped out. Like I said, the only secret door that you think will actually lead anywhere that you're not sure is that one. You also think you can probably traverse this area quicker or in a route that's different than even maybe some of the guards might know, because these passages are long. Again, this area isn't that like off limits or like, but if you needed to, you know that as well. Kieran?
So my other question is, during our walkabout, is everybody speaking the same language that we're passing by and stuff like that, or is there a various different languages being spoken throughout this place?
It is mainly. That's a really good question. It is actually mainly a language, Molorandi, unless none of you have that, I'm sure, but unless you have a comprehend languages type of thing, is probably a little bit more common, but they do speak it is a weird dialect. It seems kind of old. It'd be like talking to somebody kind of slimy nowadays, but that you can understand them. But there's definitely a language that none of you have ever probably experienced, unless your backstory is very particular. But yeah, it's an interesting language. You might have. You probably would have heard of it. Anybody with history, I suppose, can make a check. But I think without even a history, I think Uska, you would know. You know the Molrundi people. They're from the Anauroch Desert. You know who they are. I guess that's where you came. So, not originally, but.
Yeah.
I'll just take when we get some time, I can sit and cast comprehend language on myself. It'll last for an hour. I can ritual cast it. So
can we? Sorry, Todd. How close can we get to the room with our gear? Like, is there still 2 guards on it?
Yep. Yeah, and if you guys kind of test out, you're able to walk in that room. They like look at you, but they don't look at you like, who the hell are you? They just look at you, and then they look at you kind of like, I don't know, almost dismissively.
Like we're kids walking down the street.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah, like you're, yeah.
Like they're a security guard at a hospital, and we're the nurses, and we just like walk in all the time, and they're just like,
That's one
I'm
way
just
to look at
napping, and
it.
they're just like,
Can I wave up at one and be like, "Hey, boss, how long you been working here?"
Move along, little man.
Where am I supposed to go?
Oh, move along! It snarls and spits in your faces,
I
roars.
make a show of being afraid and move along.
He smirks. Jackal teeth.
Can we I think you'd mentioned that some of the secret passages I'd spotted, with the exception of the one behind the statue, seemed relatively unused. Like
Yeah,
like no activity.
in a long time, yeah. Very long time.
If we can get a reasonably open period of time where it's not too weird, where I could look around, try to find how to open one of them.
You have, yeah, I imagine you can. Most of them are like a block turned in at the right time. Yeah, I don't think you opened them all, but you've opened, I imagined you had checked one or two, slid it, because it's not like you push it and it goes, you push it and then you're able to slide the door, right? Like,
Okay.
it doesn't,
And
it is loud, but it's not that loud.
does it immediately go into another kind of antechamber, or is it like a
So as you
little?
walk down, this one in particular, you find that most of them kind of lead down into other rooms. Like they're kind of cuts past some of this other stuff. It looks like this place was built like that way. Like there's some secret passages that just lead. If you knew these, you could move around this.
Excellent, excellent. Then at some point in time, I'm going to try to update our sheet map with some of these, and I'll review it so that everyone understands my notes, or maybe even Usk has a better cartographical way of expressing secret passages. Something like that. Just to get a better sense. And like you said,
So
most of these just kind of connect us quicker to other areas we're already allowed to be in.
I just
Except
have
for the
one
one. You
question
did find
for
one.
the.
Remember that went kind of. You're not sure where it
The
went.
one that
You guys
goes
haven't
down.
went. Yep.
And
You,
honestly, in
just think of
a
the mummy when they first get in the tomb and they all get separated. The way they're moving through and they're sliding doors. That's how the right. Like it's that way. Some of them times they're thin. You have to slide through. Times whole
yeah.
walls. And they
All right. Well,
back.
I will express that my concern is in a structure 175% times another structure that we all think of. The idea of going down frightens me even more. But it does seem like a great lead. What's the activity in that area? Like, how easily would I be able to kind of get behind the statue and take a little bit more of a look?
Which one?
The one that goes down.
You know that, yeah. If you spent maybe, it depends how far it goes. It turns and then it starts to go.
Okay. All right.
So if you want to
I'm just
spend some
wondering.
time,
I want to look not obvious. If we go to explore, how trafficked is that area?
not at all.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
and neither is this area when you look down. Like it has not been used.
Okay. That is very good to know. We hashed some things out after a days of gathering information and such. I'll share what I can glean and dream. I'm sorry, Usk, I was cutting you off with the map talk, right?
No, it's good. It's good. I was going to simply offer for everyone. Obviously, we're drawing this map up and making these decisions and stuff. I have ways of. I can write ciphers and make ways where other people can't read our maps, or maybe our writing where we write down so easily.
And we would still be able to understand it fairly easily, or would we need you to decipher it?
I can very easily teach you the cipher
All right, so
that we decide on.
currently our map is on a bed sheet that we've been drawing on with pitch from a torch. And it's probably not real easy to carry around because it is a whole bed sheet, but at some point in time when we make our moves, we're taking this sucker with us.
I just thought maybe of a way I could disguise it as a piece of art, maybe. But while we can still understand that it's a map.
I'm down with that. Like Michael in Prison Break.
Good show.
Everyone
Would that
thought it
be
was a
possible?
tattoo.
Good show.
Would that be possible for me to do?
Hell
For
yeah.
sure, yeah.
So what are we thinking, gang? I mean,
Hold
I
on.
have an obvious.
Wait, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, I have an obvious desire to explore the unknown, but we still haven't necessarily solved our
Okay.
lack of equipment problem.
I
Yeah.
think the best solution is probably get it all and hide as much as we can of it in the bag and then try to explore. We have seen armored individuals here with the robes, so I don't think it's necessarily a dead giveaway if we put our armor on.
So from the map, how
Disguise it a bit.
how much of a direct route and how quick do you think we could travel from our initial breaking into the vault to that hidden passageway?
Like how? Which hidden passage?
The one that leads down.
Yeah, the one that leads down, we'll call that
Using
the
the
one.
knowledge that he's gathered through the secret passage, or like
Yeah,
because he knows
using some of
the secret
that.
passages, quickly, a few minutes, doing it that way.
How far are any of the military, right, that's coming in and out? How far is that
Yeah.
from?
It's pretty far, like
Is
that
it?
initial
Okay.
spot. Like I said, but every now and then, it's not uncommon. It's not like it is probably the least
Okay.
traffic, but you guys have spent hours, seen a half a dozen to maybe, a half a dozen maybe
Is there
groups of people go through.
is there anything that we've heard or that we've seen that would be used to like sound the alarm? Like a big
You
ass
haven't
bell
seen-
or something
yeah.
like that?
Or a
Nothing?
gong.
Yeah, a gong, something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing.
No.
I was thinking maybe we could do a distraction, and I could play into that, well, and pull the guards away. But it's just tucked. It's tight. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting worn. I used to be able to figure shit like this out. Fucking Soth.
I do like the idea of a distraction for any purposes, because we're talking 2 armed guards, a bunch against a bunch of us. I have faith that one of us here could probably take both of them no problem, but I don't know how loud and how quickly that could happen.
And that's what we want to avoid.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's
But I
creating a
do know that-
distraction without gaining too much attention.
What if someone might be able to? What if we could gain a distraction enough for someone to get into that room?
Damien, how much influence do I have on what my projected illusion can do from Lucas's ring? Like, is it just exactly what I have, whatever I'm holding, or can I manipulate it at all?
You don't control it. No, it's like a
Okay,
active.
it's just a
illusion.
mirror. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I have a crazy idea. Gideon, if you could summon your weapon and then give it to me, I could project my illusion into the room, and then they would see it holding your weapon, and it could run away. hopefully, than them chasing it.
Yeah, but these wards, I think there's too much gamble in using magic here. I know we can do it. I think this needs to be. Listen, we got smart, persuasive guys here. There's a way to do this.
Your illusion magic. Could you perhaps disguise yourself as a higher rank
Me?
priest?
I wish, but I don't possess those abilities.
I'm pretty good with disguise,
Bungo.
but not without my kit, and probably not without a rogue that I steal from a higher up.
So do we
Still
fucking
not a
take
bad
down
idea.
one of these guys, shove him in a fucking secret tunnel, and use it that way?
Secret tunnel.
Saw his head off with our belt ropes.
Man,
Bongo, can you do your transformation
Yeah.
without your stuff?
Yeah, sure.
So we have that as well. The potential option. If it works.
Fucking chest, Damien.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't think so. Yeah.
How about I just
You're playing chess against yourself.
Probably.
Yeah.
We've been adapting to you. This is how we have to play.
Yeah.
are those two guys standing right in front of the door? Either side of the door.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're not like you guys are just moving.
Yeah, we're kind of just
Moving like you don't. Yeah, so
walking
you guys
around.
make your way over there. And,
Casual.
yeah, and you see they're you're not sure if it's the same ones, but there's definitely two guards still there.
How
Do
about
they
I
ever
just-
leave? Because Memnock's been, I think, like in that room, just keeping an eye. Do they ever leave?
Is Memnock just keeping an eye on that?
I think he's just been chilling in that room. I haven't used him at all, and he was in there last. So
Right.
he's like
well,
an
we
ant
gotta,
or something or a spider on the wall.
Well, yeah. So I gotta assume that he's with you, unless you say other.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, he definitely follows you, unless you could have him wait and watch if that's what you want him to do. But
Okay. Well, I'll do that from now on then. At least I'll put him in there, just like
Okay.
on the side of the wall, just watching.
Okay. But yes, they're still there at the moment.
Hmm.
Look, I can misty step in and misty step out. Give me the bag of holding. I'll fill it up. Bada bing, bada boom. If it goes bad,
I like this.
you know,
The rest
rush
of
it.
us. The rest of us play some sort of distraction game.
Yeah.
Do this as well, but I also have this new ability where I can go in and out of space and time. It would take longer, but if they turned around, they might not see me.
How far is the closest
Wanna do it, though.
secret tunnel that Ren has found to this room?
Fairly close. Again, it's
Pretty-
just
pretty-
a minute.
pretty close?
Like, yeah. Like,
Okay.
Well, yeah, pretty close. Yeah, for sure.
A couple minutes.
All right,
maybe.
plan
Yeah,
is
tops.
Bungo and Ren do a sexy dance at the end of the hallway, distract the guards. But Bone bamps in. Guards won't move unless they really want to run us off. And if they don't, they're going to have to watch our sexy dance the whole time. Bones bamps in, gets her shit. While Ren and I run around the corner, maybe into some secret hidey hole that he's found. Rendezvous in the secret hidey hole.
I like
Just
that. Downside
try and-
is I'm not a very good dancer.
That makes it all the
Makes
better.
it better. Try and
Phil.
to converse with them. If they're talking, hopefully they'll be less focused on
All
what
right.
they're doing.
They seemed like not very talkative the last time we tried that.
I think so too, but maybe that will make them angrier, which will
That's
make
true.
them more distracted.
Just wait till I have performance check this shit.
Maybe?
All right. If
All right,
anyone
yeah.
else has a better idea,
That's
Okay, you just tell me what you're doing and when you're doing it, and who's doing what.
Right. Shit.
anyone else have any objections before Bungo starts gyrating?
go
I only
for
have
it.
one.
Lead the way.
I only have one missing step.
All right, then you're sexy dancer.
All right, I'm sexy dancer. Bungo's going.
You better dance well, Bones. Don't mess this up. Do the move, like, you know.
Yeah,
What am I
All right.
supposed to do?
I'll do the zombie.
You do
Popping
you.
and locking mostly.
Bungo gets himself a good little eye for where he's got to escape
Sure.
to.
Okay, guys are peering in and see the
He's
creatures
taking the
in
bag,
room.
right?
Yeah, give me the bag of holding. Kieran has a question.
I was only going to say is when the dancing or whatever the distraction starts, could I somehow give them advantage by doing prestidigitation by giving like some lights and little lights around him as he's
Definitely try.
gyrating and stuff.
I'll cast guidance on myself as well.
Okay.
Just trying to be a bit more distracted.
Yeah, we'll go like up where they can see us.
Let me try and look at you.
Ren.
Why am I dancing?
I grab Ren by like his waist and pull him in.
You lead. He was
Wait,
very
hold on. Wait.
sensual thing you've ever seen.
Do you even want me to make a roll?
I walk up to yeah, does anyone have feathers? I walk up to Bungo. He probably got a feather on you, right? Do you have a
They
feather?
took all my feathers.
You got nothing on you.
Damn it. Okay.
From the pillow.
Is it a pillow?
Listen,
You wish. You think you guys are getting
You
goose
should
down?
buy
You got like
feather
some
pillow.
matted straw.
Okay. And we start dancing.
They
We
look.
start, like,
All right, I'm
It
dancing.
definitely gets their attention as they kind of look at each other before they look back.
So
Can we
start
walk
having
these,
some
sounds like?
light,
Yeah,
some
yeah, we're
lights
like-
start going round them.
we waltz for a bit and then we like stop and we start doing like salsa.
All right, I
The
try
pause.
to imitate.
Come
Bones.
on, gentlemen. Soul is shining. It's a good day to dance.
gotta sell it.
All right,
Come
I'll
on. Look at
I'll
you.
wink at one of them.
This isn't.
Looks so
It goes
appealing.
back. This isn't necessary. Are you here for the rest of it?
Come on, gentlemen. You work so hard.
I kinda stare
Just
at
have a
you
break.
again.
Yeah, we're here for the rest of it. That's what he said.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
here for the rest of it. Why do you think I'm doing this thing?
You're strange
1,
people.
2, 3.
Tell me about it.
We're tired. Come and get it then.
Right, of course. I straighten my robes and
You
I
snarl a little bit as you guys go by. You're like chest level at them, you know.
As I walk by them the opposite way, I kind of sleight of hand them, give them the bag of holding. And I just kind of turn in the hallway, and I'm just like watching the two dudes, and I'm just like, "You guys do a really good job. You know, be proud."
Thanks.
No, not you. I'm talking to the guards. While you guys go in and load up her shit, I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
As you guys go
I've
in this room,
listened,
you see
I'm-
that it's, there's a table and some stuff.
I am going to
in-
speed percept
Yeah,
everything.
you
that
notice
looks
that
nice.
there's groups of stuff that apparently isn't yours as well, but most of that stuff you can see pretty quickly is pretty basic stuff, clothes and maybe like a bronze necklace, like a family keepsake or something. But you actually do see where all of your stuff's kind of put together. However, it's clearly missing some stuff.
Fuck.
All
I'm
right.
sure we're excited to get whatever they got out of here. I was wondering when they come get the rest, you hear one of them start.
Who got it? Who was here before us?
He turns around.
Hey, no need for that.
He turns when you say that. Don't take. lip. He leans down. From any fresh meat.
Understood.
Excuse me.
Get your shit and get out.
There appears to be some items missing here.
Get out! He steps forward and looks at you right out. He's got his twisted blade up there. You see the other one spun around. You get the feeling that they definitely feel like they have authority. That's what you feel like, and that you're, you know what I mean? Like, you definitely feel like they're taken aback by any kind of yeah. Which yeah,
Resistance.
just so you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not just being a dick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just you can
yeah.
see. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're like,
No,
oh, these
no.
little fucking assholes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, are trying to step in, but
All right. Hey,
I scrape everything over. Bones holds the bag open. I just start shoving it in.
you're able to gather your stuff, and they kind of walk out behind you. They walk in a weird way, you know, almost kind of.
With backwards knees.
Yeah, a little bit. Like that's the feeling you get from it. Exactly. You know, it's hard to tell with Egyptian armor. Imagine like Egyptian plate, if you can think of that.
I pictured backwards knees for some reason.
Yeah.
Because
Let's make that canon. They're backward knees.
Backward knee.
That makes them more terrifying, I think.
It does.
But so as you know, they guys get out, you immediately notice some of the stuff's gone. Like you don't see as you go through it, a few of the larger items that you know are missing are Oathmaker, the Frostforged plate mail, Anguish, the Orb of Dragonkind. And after some more searching, you find the hilt of the Sunblade is gone, and the Ring of Free Action is gone.
Right?
Do we notice that while we're still there, or is this after?
Yeah. Your gauntlet. Yeah, gauntlet. No, they didn't take your gauntlet. You actually don't notice your gauntlet. Like, none of you see him when he first grabs the gauntlet. He's like, oh, good, they didn't find it. But you didn't see anything until he slides it on. You know, you're like, what is he talking about?
Nice.
I will because the boys' attempts failed. The one that was a bit upset, I walk up to it and I'm so sorry they spoke to you incorrectly, almost trying to graze its chest, being 5'6". In your amazing perception and sentinel-like position, did you see anyone leave with our other items?
So give me a persuasion roll.
Nat 20.
Shut your mouth, yeah. You see kind of his glare kind of softens. See, someone who understands their position, knows how to speak to someone. Of course. It's taken directly to Kefri. Whatever they found, they were quite excited about.
And may I ask one more favor from you? And then we'll take our leave. What direction is that in?
I'm assuming you're taking a lot of this stuff. A vault.
Yes, they asked us to humble ourselves and deliver it there.
He walks over to the bronze door and pulls the door open. As he does, it creaks open loudly, but it swings open easily. And you see this big, probably 12-foot wide staircase. You know, it's carved into the stone, obviously, going down. Some hieroglyphics and all this very beautiful and in-depth murals along the walls. It goes down deep and deeper into the vault, of course.
Thank you.
Are we still close enough to see her that she got the door held open for her?
Yeah, you guys are all right there. You're in that room, that first room, not the side room. Poured out of there.
Yeah. So we'll.
Right, boys, let's take our things to where they took the other things.
I gotta be.
understood.
This
Take the
is
things to the other things as we were told to do.
let's give
right.
our
You guys
belongings to
make
these
your
so we
way
may.
down
We're
the thing.
obedient
Sorry?
children.
Oh yeah, the door slams shut. Yeah, you guys were definitely playing
Just with
chess against
ourselves.
yourself. Yeah,
Well, I mean, they looked like guards. Presumably, they
They
would be
were.
guarding it.
they were.
They're just
Yeah, I
bad
mean,
guards.
yeah, no, they were guarding it. Right. The only reason, sorry, yeah, they're getting out of it. But the only
No,
reason they
no,
were
no.
like, "Are you here for the other stuff?" is because you had already too long, and that's So it was like there was already, yeah.
Christ, this is Act 1, you idiots.
Well, no doubt that, but not idiots, but also you had already they got the enough time, more than enough time. You guys said you spent a ton of time here, and more than enough time came. So I was like, all right, that's a plot appropriate way for me to say move along or do whatever. Anyway, so you guys, as you make your way down, you see deeper down into the pyramid now,
Oh yeah.
actually down into it. All of the rest of your guys' stuff is there, except for those items that I had mentioned, I believe. In some crazy chance, it appears to be one from each player. Actually, I just thought I really did kind of look at each powerful, and I thought each of you did hold one of the most powerful items. And yeah,
We split them up pretty good.
yeah, exactly.
It was
But
almost like
other
they
than
were
that, the rest
handed
of
it
your
to us in a certain way.
you guys have all the rest of your stuff though.
Okay, sweet.
Thank you.
Well,
We'll take our break there, and then we'll start the adventure.
Also, and before we'll start seeing how long it takes us to go down a staircase. Before we do leave, for the listener viewers, I think they know just as much as we do, Damien. Once, twice, third time's bitten, then we're a little shy.
It's awesome. I was literally texting No. We just spent an hour to come up with a dance plan to realize we could have just transported the fucking items.
Well, a couple things. Well, and that's not actually why. If you would have done that to get all of your stuff, they wouldn't have just you'd have had to have some who the hell are you? You'd have to have some sort of way of proving it. But at that point, it was been long enough. The important stuff's gone. Yeah, I could legitimately say they're tired of guarding this stuff. But not to say I don't mind. You guys can plan all you want. Don't think that. But you guys spent a long time deciding you're gonna go get your stuff. In the back of my head, I'm thinking you're gonna go get your stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? You're gonna not go get your stuff. That's an obvious
it.
one.
Fresh start. We're all completely devoted to the temple now.
There was a moment there were two people or three people were like, maybe we just sneak around, and I was like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Bones,
no way, please.
Bones at one point said, he's
Alright,
yeah, but I think if we wait too long, you said that. You have to, and I was like,
yeah.
I'm thinking in my head, okay, because you guys were waiting a little bit. That was before. And then at some point, you just had to walk the whole area. And I think I think at one point, Ren said, we spent a day. Well, I said, and then he's like, well, a day then to decompress.
We talked about the way we scanned around, we gathered information, we listened to people talk.
No, it was fine. It was good.
On guards.
It was
this is all. This is all subscriber information. I'm sorry to have to do this. We're bleeding here. All right, so
please. I haven't eaten in a long time.
We'll be back in 15 unless you want to pay for the subscription. And all right. Here,
whatever that price is. But
Vocals are on screen is good. All right, we're back. We're back for immersion. Let's do this.
yeah, the players have made it down the bronze door. They have thoroughly and fully mapped that first layer. Heading down though, as you guys get deeper down, you get to a landing. You go down quite a ways. You know, a couple stories worth is what you would think. You know, 3 stories, maybe 4 stories. Like you would know exactly, Ren, I guess. So probably 3 stories down. Like you would think, like what is that? Like 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet. It's hard to tell, but generally speaking, you go down a little bit. As you hit the landing, you notice again beautiful um, hieroglyphs and pictures, motifs along the wall of these a lot of the jackal-headed stuff, the sun. But your keen eye also catches a lot of darker things like the eclipsing and um, this a lot of this kind of shadowy figure that shows up in some of the pictures. That give off a different kind of vibe. But generally speaking, as you make your way down this long hallway, it goes down again and it splits into, or it doesn't really split, it just opens up into a larger room. And there is a large stairway going down. This room probably like 70 feet across. So as you come down the stairs, it lands on a big platform, kind of round to another stairs down. There's some hieroglyphics and
I'll definitely try to take a look at all the hieroglyphics.
Very light.
Any
no light in this place, none. So if you can't see, tell me how you're. It's a good point. Zero light.
We have the torch still.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
And it, with dark vision, you can't read, and you have a -5 to perception rolls.
Yeah. Do you have
So
the
your passive
hooded
perception
lantern?
drops by 5 if you're what?
Yeah, I've got
You have a
the
hooded lantern
hooded
too?
lantern.
Okay.
Can I pull that guy
Yep,
out?
that's enough light. Yep.
And I'll do
Okay.
a little, around here and look around with this sort of that expression of like, does anyone recognize these?
Mm,
Yeah.
Usk, this appears like
Like,
some of the hieroglyphs you've seen, but it's older. It's more of a ancient kind of version. So it's hard for you might be able to make out some of it, but really this is just your stereotypical, so maybe story of creation or like the sun birthing the river, type of stuff. You don't really see a straight mode, you know, it's almost like a smattering of hieroglyphics
But
and
nothing of secret nature that I can
nothing that you
glean.
notice. Yep.
Okay. But this is just kind of a platform, and then it continues downward. There's no
Yep.
other doors or. Okay. Well,
And I'll just
guys, you want to make another plan?
I'll try Memnock. He still can't go invisible, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna send Memnock in front of us down the stairs.
As he goes to go down the stairs, as he's about to go down, you hear this grating sound as he barely gets out of the way. As this huge stone slab slams in front of the stairway going down, and right behind you guys, the door you came in just slamming. I mean, just rattles. And as it does, you see some of the hieroglyphs and runes on the ground glow a little bit. And before you,
Cast
this
detect magic.
creature, yeah, it's magical.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Yeah, hold on. Yeah,
My gumption says it's magic.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
I'm
I'm
gonna
trying
go
to
with six.
see specifically where it's
Yeah,
coming from and what type.
yeah. I gotcha. That takes a round, so this is happening.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
sorry, I just want to see something. But yeah, this figure starts to appear. First, kind of translucent, and then more tangible and more, um, you know, more physical. It's fairly large. It's got the body of a lion, or the head of a human. Uh, female human with long black hair. She has green eyes. She has wings, eagle wings. She starts to appear. You notice immediately her talons and her fangs are super long. They hang down past. Her eyes are red, glowing just, this kind of fiery red. Um, as she appears, and then she stands up real tall. Not supposed to be here, I think. She dashes up to the wall, onto the wall, and she kind of on the wall for a second.
We're just transporting goods.
She's walking along the wall. You're lying. She lands. You
On
don't
the
have
tower.
authority to be here. She steps up right up to Gideon.
Just
She doesn't look threatening. Like she's not, I'm gonna kill you, but she's like, you know, coming into your space, and you're not. She's giving off. I'm not sure what the hell
How
she
big is she? And is she on
she's
all fours
large.
right now?
Right now, yes, she's all fours. Imagine like a dire lion, so like, twice the size of a lion with eagle wings. And this is a vaulted ceiling, by the way. It's about 28 feet tall. Um,
But she has a
yeah,
human torso,
she has a human head.
human head. Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do I
But
know
yeah.
of any past murals or any facets of history of maybe any lore behind this creature?
Yeah, anybody can make if they have either survival, history,
No,
Or
I'll
what was
probably
the last
doing
one?
history.
arcana.
Do Arcana.
Damien, just saying your mic is not getting every word.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Oh,
So,
I think I
that
need to
one.
switch. I don't like these. They're good for gaming, but I don't
30.
think they're like video gaming. But
uh,
I think I need a different mic.
apparently history's my thing, because we had a 19 plus 7, 26 for
Oh,
the
yeah.
history check.
I had a
on
So-
this.
30-20 survival, but I'll give it to Usk.
Yep. So anybody who has like 15 or higher has some of this information, but you've definitely heard of like there's a couple different things. A lamnia, sphinx. Also, what you would think is this is lamnia, but the size of it, and usually they're more of the female lion. This is a male lion with a female head. The wings also seem different than what you would expect from either of those things, though it's very similar. You get the feeling this is some sort of sphinx. You've heard of a few different types, but you're not sure what. This doesn't kind of fit into anything that you know. But you definitely, I would say you think it's some sort of like trickster slash guardian,
Hmm.
if it's anything like. Some are benevolent, some are malevolent, some are in between.
It, from the history, I would know of any ways people that maybe bartered or passed them, or if they some kind
Riddles.
of test riddles.
Riddles. If it is what you think it is, then that would be a way to perhaps. She says you guys are kind of. She's. Is anyone going to speak? Has Cat
Well,
got your tongue?
you
She
could
says with a
certainly
smile.
say that in ways.
She leaps up to the ceiling, the full 28 feet, grabs onto it, lets out this roar.
Or
She
human mouth.
climbs down. She starts
Forgive me,
climbing
but
down.
I find it's usually best if I don't speak and just listen.
It's not true. Usually he speaks way too much. But we've told you the truth and you've called us liars. So what are we to say?
Well, now, offended when someone speaks the truth.
No, I was being truthful. When I speak, things don't go well. So it's probably better if I just listen. And that is 100% honest.
I believe that. You see her claws kind of wrench and.
So
Well, this has been fun, but They must be leaving now.
Is there no possible way of letting us through to the other side? A test from yourself, perhaps, if that's what is required.
Perhaps a few ways. If you mean you're looking to have a little fun. She leaps down, finishes the rest of the. She slams again. She stands up. You know, she's how tall is a lion stand? It's hard for me to judge some of these, but it's huge. You know, she's chest level. You know,
right.
your eye level at her chest probably. She, um,
It's probably like
you know,
8, 9
leans
feet
up.
tall.
Yeah, exactly. Her wings kind of strut out a little bit as she kind of fall over you guys. Well, you know, I mean, it's quite hungry around here. I could just take one of you as a snack, maybe. But if that doesn't work, perhaps we could trade, or perhaps we could barter. My deal with them is more of a more like guidelines than actual rules. More of a
Deal with who?
Fair enough.
Peppery.
Hmm.
What do you propose? She gets real close. Lizard.
Well, I can't say so much for myself. I usually travel quite light. Nature of my work, I sadly have to say, but one of the few things I suppose I require myself is my intellect, the history I know, some
Yeah.
informations.
Test of the mind, eh? How about this? You answer my riddles. If you get any of them wrong, I get to eat one of you. And I'll let the rest go. How about that? Now that's a real bargain. That's a real treat.
Collectible.
We all have to be able to help.
Of course. But that's it. No other help.
What about magics?
No. Magics. Test of your mind.
I think we got this.
Gideon says, "Oh, great," and he turns around.
So who will it be then? If it was my, I'll leave it up to you. Of course. She
Definitely
points a
Ryan.
wicked claw to Usk, or perhaps this meaty little nugget down here. Points down to Punko.
Pongo. Nice little chicken nugget.
Yeah, a little nug. Maybe I'll
It's stringy.
straight.
It's gonna be Ren, man.
What do you say?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we have a deal then.
I volunteer as snack.
We have a deal
Oh,
then.
you beat me to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We could
She looks at you kind of scrawny. I suppose. I left it up to you. You gave me the runt, but guess we'll have to do. Very well. You don't want to know if you go back on our deal.
Oh, it's fine. We won't need to.
Very well. 3 riddles. You prepared?
Oh, always. Are they gonna
Who
be a
will
team?
give me the answer? Which one of you will give me the answer? I'll allow you to, but I don't have all day.
We don't either, my feline friend.
Usk will give the answer. We'll all huddle.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Hands
As
off your
long as you're
keyboards,
fine with it.
boys. Hey, yeah, I got a hands check. Everyone's good.
Yeah,
That's good. Oh.
yeah.
Well,
No, you guys
I
don't have to. You can do whatever you know.
I need to
That's
first.
how you
I need
want
to
to do
stop.
it. Perhaps
I need to stop my music and turn you.
You guys have somebody has
So
like fake
pop the
hands. They're
keys.
just doing this. It's like one of like those things. It's like a fake hand. Yeah, he's down here typing. She says, "Wonderful,
code
wonderful, all day in and out. Priests and holy men. I really regret this deal, but a deal's a deal. Thank you for this. Are you ready?"
Asked and answered, my friend.
Very well. Let's see. Maybe perhaps I'll start off with one that's fairly easy. Eyes up here, boys. No. Eyes up here. All right. Ready? Dance on the horizon, vision so bright, a shimmering promise in the heat of light. I lead weary travelers with dreams in my wake, but touch me and I vanish, a fleeting mistake. In the heart of the desert, I play my charade. What am I? A trick of the sun? Of the shade? What is it? Who's saying it? Sorry, I'm out of game. Who told me that?
Who's
Usk is the.
Usk is going to be the
Okay,
answer.
gotcha,
I'm
gotcha.
thinking
the answerer?
Mirage.
I
Mirage.
also believe it's a mirage.
We all agree.
Anyone else?
Sounds good.
I turn around, take a few steps to separate myself from the group, so if anything does happen, they don't get so much lattered.
Yeah, less collateral damage for some sort of retaliatory strike. I got you.
Mhm.
Classic maneuver.
Oh, well, with our intellect combined, we believe it's a mirage.
It's a child's riddle. It's what we tell our children to weed out the fools. Let's see if you can get this next one. Gets a little tougher. Are you ready?
Don't tell me with a good time.
In silence I rest beneath the earth's embrace, guarding the secrets of a long place. With walls of stone and I cradle the stories of the brave and the bold. In shadows I linger where the time stands still. What am I, a keeper of fate and will?
We missed half of one of those.
That was I
lines.
cutting out? Okay. I'll say it again and then I'll drop it in there.
At least the first
Sorry.
half.
Yep, sorry. Can you hear me better
You're
now?
good. Yeah, you're good.
In silence I rest beneath the earth's embrace, guarding the secrets of a long lost place. With walls of stone and treasures untold, I cradle the stories of the brave and the in shadows I linger where time stands still. What am I, a keeper of fate and of will? What am I describing? You. This delectable, sassy little thing over here says that she looks at a lot, perhaps?
All right, Bungo.
Tomb? The tomb?
Yeah, I was thinking. I like Tomb a lot.
Oh, what was that, Flash?
I was thinking of like a pharaoh's tomb.
Yeah, I think tomb, just tomb.
Their
Yeah,
the
let's go
whole
with tomb.
life is stored there with goods supposedly going to the afterlife.
Yes.
Yeah, the
They
whole
do,
protecting stories part. I
they
really like.
do often have tales of
Hmm.
their deeds and of history in their tombs, so
Yes,
Let's
as
do
well
it.
as great
Okay.
heroes.
Let's go with Tomb. Right? Anyone
Tomb.
else? Any
I
dissent?
agree. Gideon?
Oh yeah, you guys are
Time's
doing a
running
great
out.
job.
All right, it was
TikTok.
Usk.
I take a step forwards. Place such as that. A tomb.
Sharpening her claw. I'm sorry?
A tomb.
Again. A little tougher, but easy enough. You see her face kind of twist up before seeing again, and you're like, she's quite beautiful when her face isn't. All right, all right. Perhaps yours is better than I thought. Very well. We'll not get this last one. Wear it. Are you ready? See, now she's kind of pacing back and forth. I am a gift sought by many, yet few can hold, a treasure more precious than silver or gold. I dance through the ages untouched by decay. In stories of heroes I often play. With each passing moment I linger and stay. What am I that defies time's sway? I'll read it to you again. I am a gift sought by many, yet few can hold, a treasure more precious than silver or gold. I dance through the ages untouched by decay. In stories of heroes I often play. With each passing moment I linger and stay. What am I that defies time's sway? She smiles broadly when she finishes. Tick tock,
Oh,
boys.
I think I think that sounds like a song or music, right?
Ooh, that's good because I at first I was like, well, it's not life.
Here, I can
I
drop it
think,
in there. I'm gonna drop it
I
in the
think
chat
it's
so you guys can
love.
look at it.
thank you. I also like my mind went to time as like a trick question, but no.
I think it's
Um,
love.
love. Ooh, that's a good one.
I was thinking of a song because you can pass that on from generation to generation,
Yeah.
telling
Song for
stories.
love.
A book.
Time all the time.
Oh, books are good.
Dropped it in the messages. But she's pacing and kind of begging.
I read it again. What about power?
Power's not bad either. Um,
Gift sought by many, yet few
it's
can
not by
hold.
many.
Yet few can
Yeah.
hold.
But untouched by the decay.
Yeah.
That part doesn't make sense. Power.
Yeah, the untouched by decay part is where my theory
So I
ran
think it's
off.
love, but everyone can love.
In stories of heroes I often play.
That's why I thought power as well.
Wait, a
Oh,
gift sought by
what if it's courage?
I like that too. I think it is. I think it is an ephemeral thing. Like I think it's like honor or courage. You know what I mean? I think it's a. I think it's a construct word. Treasure more precious than silver. All right, that could be whatever. You know,
A tune.
dance through the ages, untouched by decay.
It's legacy. Or like,
Yeah, like leaving your.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, but it's
Mm.
definitely not in stories of heroes. Okay, I like that. With each passing moment, I linger and stay. What am I that? Yeah, legacy. Yeah, because all right, because it would
Yeah.
it transcends time, undecayed. Well, maybe not
There's
undecayed, but
stories
still
about it too.
worries about it.
Go
You
Stories
can't
of
hold
heroes.
it, or few can hold. But I
And
like
many
the
want it too.
yeah, and I even like all right. The I'm a gift sought by many, yet few can hold, and that hold may not be physicality, like physical holding, but some
Yeah, I
people
think
who
it's
have
more.
a legacy, they hold a legacy.
I think legacy. I think it's the best answer we have.
Yeah.
Any salt and pepper to spice up Ren? Season them up.
Yeah. Wait a
We
second.
have three.
I may have a cooking kit. Hold on.
We have three agreed.
What do we think?
Legacy.
All in favor with legacy?
I'm gonna go with legacy. Oh, you know what? All right. I have cook's utensils. Any chance I got salt and pepper in there for our lizard friend?
Yeah, just salt me up. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt.
Nah, you guys are
Rub
smart.
it
You
in.
got this. You got this. I have faith.
I
Faith.
turn around and approach.
Revolutions are built on faith.
I don't actually have faith.
Just like you truly
Kind
said.
of.
just like you truly said, it was indeed a tough one. But just like to the answer of this, it's few can hold, but we are one of the few. We believe it to be legacy.
Your teeth go show up underneath this big broad smile.
Oh fuck.
I'm smiling back.
Yes. So wrong. It's that immortality they seek. Plays such a part in those stories until it doesn't.
It truly does, huh?
And she starts to salivate as
It's one of the few reasons I travelled these lands, but it's always seemed to miss my grasp.
a deal's a deal then.
But it seems that my legacy shall have to be passed to
She's
others.
rubbing her paws together.
Um,
Bring them over, boys.
Oh, I'm already stepped away from them anyway, so I just kind of turn around real quick to everyone and say, "It has most certainly been a pleasure." And
Cast a spell.
how far away is the rest of the group from us?
From 10
from
feet,
me
because
and the
you stepped away
collection.
from her, so I'm going to say you probably stepped 10. You guys are in the center
10
of the
feet.
60-foot room, like circular room. And you guys are directly in the center, and
Can I cast a spell?
So my next question is, would we have had time to reattune to our items? Or
did we went over this? I think it's how close do they have to be? 100 feet? Is that what it is? Did we see that? Was that crazy? Yeah. So you are technically unattuned to items, all of the items that you are attuned to, even the ones you do have.
That's just my gauntlet.
She starts to step forward.
Yeah.
The rest of you will go when I've finished my. This has been so much fun. Thank you. Thank you. I really cannot thank you enough. It's been so boring. You spice things up quite a bit. It has been a real
Wait,
pleasure.
best of three.
Comes over.
Can I cast a spell?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, of course you can. Of course. Yeah. Sorry, I was just listening to.
No, that's right. No, I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Okay. So, but I will say
Okay.
she's not going to be surprised. So if you start to cast, may
Oh
initiate.
yeah.
Say that. So it's not a free cast because she's not
Yeah.
like, she's not completely unaware that maybe might
Oh, yeah.
not like the deal.
Yeah.
So if you start to cast, that's fine. We'll roll initiative. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll even let you start, like, because you start combat, I'll let you start it, because that's how I do. I do it like they do at Boulder's Gate. Like if you attack with somebody out of, then they initiate combat. I think. Maybe if they're only surprised though. I think that's how it is actually. No, I think we just roll initiative. I just talked myself into it, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I just let you know it wasn't. I didn't
I
want
mean,
you to think it was like a cast.
No, yeah. We
I-
can't just let it eat him. So I mean,
I
Yeah,
just
so-
have one.
roll
I just
initiative
have
anyways
one.
if it doesn't work.
I just have
Yeah.
one question before
Yeah,
you.
because she's literally walking over there and like a smile.
Yeah. I just
But
have
she's-
one question before you partake in myself. No, it's quite lean meat, trust me, I've had some on myself before, it's not good. This deal you said that you didn't like with the High Priest. What if we struck a new deal of, well, not me, we've already had our deal, but perhaps them, of releasing you of your previous deal of a more favourable one?
She pauses for a second. Why would I think that you could possibly free me from my?
I didn't sell it myself. Like I said, we've already had our deal. Then perhaps, from what I've learned of these skilled individuals, some of them has, I even say, potential to surpass the High Priest if given the opportunity.
He looks unconvinced. But it did intrigue her. But she definitely doesn't look. It was more of like the initial idea intrigued her, but then she was. I don't think you guys are.
If I may interject, I do appreciate the offer my friend just gave you. If I offered to make a pact with you in the stead of my master patron, who is a high lich, would you want that opportunity? Think of all the perplexing conversations you could have with such a wise and elder individual.
Now that's interesting. Leave it to the woman to come up with the best trade, she says as she. You're telling me right now, get me out of here.
That's
Bring
our
me my
goal.
deal. And
What? I mean, I would
I'll
be
be in your debt.
glad to. What is holding you here?
Deal with Senmet, but you said I could swear to this lich.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes,
Do you think I would be able to? His power would break the deal.
indeed.
Well, it's only prudent of me, of course. Why would I not follow the most powerful, the one to give me the most chance? So
He has great plans for lands beyond here. He could
feel shadow
use
spawn
someone like
humming.
you. It's like getting hard on.
Yeah.
I'm there just in the
Draw
corner,
me.
getting some
Okay.
seasoning, just rubbing up my arms.
Rubbing himself up with the seasoning.
It's like a bottle of
See, there's a
Tabasco
pause
sauce.
there
like
for a second before you see fire that when she
we
unsheathes
just
it,
missed
kind of.
you for a full sentence and a half.
Oh shoot! I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna get a new thing. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys see that fire that kind of envelops Swan when she draws it, kind of start to bubble and roil, and as it does, it kind of leaks out like it's heavy, kind of leaks out and hits the ground, pools in front of her, and you see the creature in front of you kind of look at you and look at it, where you see her kind of pause for a second as if she's thinking or remembering something. And when that happens, you see that it shoots forward like it did when it brought Ren back. It hits her in the chest. And she does. She kind of jerks forward and she falls back. And she does. You see her eyes are kind of wispy blue. You see she's like, you were right. See it now. You're all messengers,
Yes.
heralds.
Indeed.
She just shakes her head and she kind of composes herself before she looks at the doors. And then they rise up, those heavy stone doors. Be wary. You are not welcome here. The rest traveled freely through, but from this point on, most of the residents are going to be dead. And we'll see you as enemies, I'm sure.
We'll try to
We're
be
not
quick.
welcome anywhere.
Also, be wary. You must go down deeper. The way is locked.
Do you know where?
There's a secret door past the first chamber. And there's a room. Keys will find that, though it will be a test of your constitution to get them.
You know
That's
where
all I know.
Sinmed is?
Sinmet's dead. Sinmet's not been dead for hundreds of years.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you. I'm
And
sure I'll be seeing them.
I'll walk up to her and feeling rather confident. And I'll reach up and just like rub her mane and her neck. Welcome to the family.
she
Because
He's one of us now.
I'm in the background just getting my tail. Is like, do you want to start tail first? Do you want to start with the arms?
As you guys as she she purrs and smiles, she realizes she's no longer bound by the original. She bounds up the stairway.
Usgirl said you don't have to be a meal.
That could cause problems up there.
I'm okay about it.
Literally 5 more seconds, and I was gonna say, okay, she bites into his neck and rips a piece.
I was
There
gonna
was a
cast
long enough pause
suggestion,
where I was like, they're going, and Ren didn't say
but
anything. I was like,
I was gonna
all
cast
right, we lost that
suggestion
one, guys.
and try and do like
I know you.
that was an applicable answer for that riddle. Be fair,
I-
give us another one. You know.
Yeah. It
was
wasn't a
I
bad
was,
guess. Like honestly, the last one was tough. I didn't expect. Like I wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten that one.
yeah,
Right? Like
my-
I'm
the
not.
thing
Like
I
I'm
was-
pretty good at riddles, but I would not have gotten that. I'm sure.
The thing I was
So,
going for was like that fit.
No,
it fit the
Legacy's pretty
question,
close.
so
Yeah,
give us
but
another
she's
one.
gonna be an asshole, even if like.
That's why I used magic and didn't just say it.
Yeah. And so,
So,
I think. No, I think that was a
if-
good get for sure.
If nobody interrupts that, I was going to try one risky move right then, as she's probably like biting into me. Was cast remove curse. See if that would help in any way, because she mentioned
to
a
break her
deal on a
deal
bond.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she made a new one. That was a good play. See,
That's
no
great.
dice roll needed. That was enough for her to be like, "Yep, done," and make her patron happy. You can see why she's
Honestly,
his favorite.
great move, Flash.
Yeah. Good job.
Your thumbs
Um,
way up.
You guys see the stairs going down.
I didn't become a dino, Nuggy. Let's go.
You guys actually did really good. You guys got the first two really well. The first one was kind of decent little riddle. Like you guys got it like that though. I was like, oh, okay. I expected you to get the first two, but I didn't expect you to get them so. And then you did great on the third. Yeah, I think you guys like riddles are tough, and don't like the person who knows the answer. They don't get to say anything, right? Like
And
I think you guys did great.
I've told Andy this. I fucking love riddles. I fucking
Yeah.
love puzzles. You put me in game on the spot, and I am like,
I thought you guys did good, all of you. Well, I know like you guys are all actually surprisingly good at riddles. I played with a lot of groups that like even the first one might have been tough. But yeah, I think we all kind of agree. Like Todd is also very good. I would play with a group. This is no joke. Jonathan and his wife, Kate, and them. They were great. Like this, a couple in Seattle and their friends. We play. His wife, Kate, was the best. I'm telling you, I couldn't. She'd get them out before I finished them. Every time I was like, I would try to get as many riddles in it plot wise as I could. So good deal. As you
If
guys
I
make
know
your way
I'm playing in
deeper
a campaign that's gonna have riddles, I want Todd playing in it because Todd's.
yeah, he does. I'm okay.
We're all
I'm
probably
okay.
better at riddles than most D&D groups because we're all nerdy enough and weird enough to get online to play D&D together. So we're the type of person that would be better at riddles just by the nature that we're here.
I'm
doing
bad at
this.
Yeah, like we're playing D&D.
Yeah.
All
So
I'm
as
going
you
to
guys
say
make your way
is,
down, it gets dark. Bullseye lantern is, I believe, the light that you guys have. And
Yeah,
as you make your way down, you guys can you don't even hear anything. You really smell the sense of like the dusty kind of odor. It gets the smell of like, yeah, kind of rotted cloth, cobwebs. Catches your nose. As you guys kind of make your way down again, a couple more floors of stairs, bullseye lantern hits the bottom, the floor, and as you guys kind of make your way down, peer into this room, and what you see is a circular room, probably about 80-foot radius, or I'm sorry, diameter, 40-foot radius. You see there's 4 pillars. Hold on. So as you guys come down, the air's thick here, with dust, and it reeks of that dusty odor, that musty smell, but also kind of like old alchemical components, and that kind of almost acrid smell. I guess is maybe a good word for it. There are 2 large 20-foot wide wells that dominate both covered with huge stone slabs. There are 4 steel braziers. I can never say those braziers.
Braziers.
Braziers, each one covered in a thick layer of ancient hieroglyphs dressed with blue paint and ribbons of gold decorate the room's limestone walls. Other than the entrance, a single 10-foot tall door, lacking any sort of visible hinge or, well, I guess you guys, nobody has that long of dark vision. I got to remember that. Well, we'll
I
get
have
there.
60 foot.
So when we actually get to them, you have
I've been
60
looking
foot, yeah.
through Memnock technically.
Okay, well,
Dark
so,
vision.
okay, but so somebody's leading you while you're looking.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, that's going to be real. Okay, we didn't think about that though. It's just like a long term.
Yeah. I guess it would be in spurts. It'd be like, okay, I'll
Yeah,
go for a minute.
okay.
And then, yeah,
Okay, like, okay,
just to keep
Uh,
my bearings with me.
yeah.
You know, he's
And you can
just
see, well, he has his light out anyway.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
As you,
You
but
got
yeah, so
3
you see
eyes,
that,
so you can keep one open, right?
Yeah.
there are a couple big pillars in this room as well, 4 big pillars. Also, what you see immediately as you guys come, these shambling in the room appears to be 6 of these corpses wrapped in rotting cloth, churning. They seem to be expecting you, almost as if they almost seem to be expecting you. As you came down, they were turning and kind of shambling towards you before you would thought they would have. That also catches your attention. They kind of look at you with these kind of hateful glares, these of their dead eyes before they come shambling towards you. And we'll call it there because
Boy.
get
Oh
you-
boy.
We're gonna kill some zombies wrapped up in toilet paper.
Oh boy.
Toilet
For
paper
zombies.
We're calling it?
Why not?
Yep, I think that's unless you guys want to do. I mean, we can do a fight, but I mean, I will, but I just know that it'll probably be. It's fine with me, but sometimes
I think
people.
it's a good spot.
It's a good spot. All right. It's a good
I-
spot.
I
Start
don't
off
mind
next
it.
session with a good fight.
And on a personal level, I got a ton of fucking weird ass shit to do tomorrow morning, and
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yep.
Good job, Damien.
Hell yeah.
Way
You
to
guys
nail
are
it.
here in the tomb, the ivory tomb, in its bowels.
Boy. Spooky.
Spooky. Fuck
I'd
this
just
shit.
like to note this whole time, Usk is nerding the fuck out.
Yeah, this is everything he's ever wanted.
Yeah, this is his shit.
They made fun of me.
This is kind of cool for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like literally
Big
fucking
moment.
dream.
Oh, yeah. This is why
So
you're here, right? Like
we're back next weekend, right?
So actually, well, let me double check. I think next weekend, actually, Kim is trialing with her sport dog and doing her French ring trial, so I will not be here on Saturday.
Okay.
We
So
will
2
keep
Saturdays.
with our-
We'll be back with When Black Roses
on the
Bloom.
7th, I believe.
Oh, actually, I won't be here on the 7th.
Oh shit! All right, well, what are we doing? We either trying to
I
make
might-
a
I
different
might-
day or go 3
I'm-
weeks.
I might be able to make it, but it's probably a no. We're doing a con that weekend. So
Yeah, well, this happens sometimes, I suppose. If the stars align and we can get a day, then, of course. But if not, we'll just do it on the.
yeah. Well, you know
And
what?
look,
All you got to do is hit the notification bell and subscribe to
And
the
you'll
channel.
know, bam.
And hopefully I update the schedule. So that's the fucking variable in all of this. I'll do my best, as I always try to do.
but seriously, look forward. Stay tuned to Wayward Ones. If there's one thing I know about this group of massively
Misfits.
talented misfits,
Dipshits.
they can't stand a day off.
Yeah.
And so someone will step up and be like, I'll do a one shot. And so I'm just saying, if you think we're not going to have a game, tune in anyways.
Yeah.
Someone's
I
going to.
guarantee it.
Someone's gonna
No.
I do
No,
want to
I
give,
know.
before we sign off, a quick shout out to this Tuesday. We have a new campaign happening on stream with Pathfinder 2E, and our boy Chance is running it.
Ooh.
So I don't know what's gonna fucking happen. but I really like my character. So,
Damn.
yeah.
All
So,
that
I
really
mean,
matters.
There's that. So, all right. That's it. We'll see you later.
I hate that
I
you
was like,
started this.
I'm like,